It's probably understood exactly what the importance of coronation is. I mean, you can go to event, you can go to bingy, you can go to dance or something like that, but still the significance of it, is very like loosely understood by most rosters. Most rosters just have a loose understanding of coronation. So even when they're explaining to others, you know, the coronation, the King of Kings, they're not really putting it together fully because they've already abbreviated their own so-called name to Rasta. You know what I'm saying? Once you abbreviate your glory to Rasta, you're not touching on the fullness. You're not even being witness. You're not being witness to the fullness. If you say I'm Rasta, you're saying I'm being witness to only an abbreviation of the glory of Rastafari. And if you only bear witness to abbreviation, the glory of Rastafari, then you're not bearing full and complete and truthful witness. You're only speaking maybe at best, only half the story or part of the story, based on how much you're abbreviating of the story, how much you know of the story. So when we come around to these times of the year with coronation, and many other of the holidays, our holy days, and special memorial times, the real meaning of it is only slightly known. So what happens after like a couple of years of like trotting after a while, trotting Rastafari after a couple of years, is that you find, and people don't want to talk about this, but it's really true. A lot of so-called Rastas don't want to talk about it, but it becomes boring. It becomes boring in the sense of there's not really much depth. You understand? They're not going into much detail and depth. Once you have seen the majority of like the videos that the Farinjoch have made, and you've read different books, you may have selected speeches, you may have a couple different books, and most of these books are not even studied the way they should be studied. The true significance, when ones come up like say Dr. York or the Nuwabians or some of the Israelites or others, and they say Haile Selassie is not the Christ, he's not this, he's not that, so forth and so on, most of y'all don't have really heavy biblical evidence to really go into besides a couple of verses. You understand? Besides a couple of verses here, there, loosely understood, not really understood in its full context. You understand? And you don't even understand what aspects of the story that they are talking about that may be true. So you're not even able to digest the truth of what they're saying and add on to what they are missing based on the fullness of the testimony of Rastafari, such as coronation. Coronation, why is coronation so significant? First of all, this is the 79th coronation of His Imperial Majesty. Look at the mystic of it. We talked about the 120 years. You remember earlier that in 2012, Abba Caduce, also known as Haile Selassie I, but now known as Abba Caduce, would be 120 years old. You understand? Fulfilling that prophecy within Genesis and within the scriptures, as well as other related prophecies. You understand? Now, 79, 2009, right? Within 2-3 years, that would be 80 what? 81, 80, about 81, right? To about 2 years or so. That's about roughly how much time we have, 2 to 3 years, 81, 82, between 2012, and they tell us that in 1970, what was it, 73, 74, 75, they said His Imperial Majesty was said, and they don't even understand what happened because their stories don't even agree. When they try to tell us that His Majesty was murdered, or they stuffed him for pillow, or this happened to him, or that happened to him, or the Derg killed him at this time, or that, they don't even understand what they agree. They don't even have one story to even present. Those who say that this or that or the next thing happens to His Imperial Majesty, they don't even agree. It's almost like the crucifixion. It's very much the same as the crucifixion. You understand, of Yehoshua HaMoshiach, you understand, is that they are not even clear. They only at best make conjecture. They only conjecture as to what has happened to the King of Kings. The true Rastafari, we understand based on the prophecy and based on the most accurate witnesses. This is how we can distinguish who is really bearing true testimony to the actual historical events concerning what happened to His Imperial Majesty, is based on the prophecy. You understand? Seeing that His Imperial Majesty fulfills prophecy and is fulfilling prophecy, then even the so-called godless revolution, the great transgression against God's elect, also is a part of that very same prophecy. So this is the 79th coronation of His Imperial Majesty, and by 2012 it would be roughly the 82nd, or roughly the same number of years as they say that His Imperial Majesty lived. You understand that? We have the coronation 1930. You see the link with the dates. Look at the mathematics. Do the math on it. If you do the math on it, this is the 79th, 2009. 2012, it would be, what, the 82nd, almost the very same as the number of years they attribute or ascribe to the King of Kings of Ethiopia. What are the chances and likelihood, you understand, of these numerical significance, 1892, 2012, 120 years? You understand? Coronation, same number of years, 2012, as the visible presence of HAILE SELASSIE I, from 1892, they say, to 1975.